we can never be today. I remember exactly the first day when we came back. When I come back here, it's like a movie in my mind. This is the place we start. I'm the person always looking forward. I don't want to look at the things back. It was not easy. So every time I come back here, I have emotion that how could this thing happen? I mean, how can we go through all these days? But we know without these tough days, we can never be today. I remember exactly the first day when we came back, we would take all the luggage, come here, and I told everybody this is the place we're gonna work for a year probably. We're gonna eat here, we're gonna sleep here, we're gonna work in day and night here. And we will probably achieve something, or probably we'll have to go out looking for jobs together. The goal at that time, we want to be the top 10 websites in the world. At that time, we are ranking probably 1 million or something, 1 or 2 million. But the most important is that the Alibaba service should help millions of small business, young people, empower them, enable them to realize their dreams. In this room, we have nothing to lose. One night, I put 18 people here all together because we have a lot of internal fights. As you guys remember, now we're lucky, we're in a small room. I believe 10, 15 years later, you cannot even find each other. You probably work in Beijing, you probably work in Shanghai, somebody work in the United States. You probably don't meet each other. So we should respect and appreciate the days we're together. We had Alibaba here, we had a Taobao here, we had Alibaba here, we had the DingTalks here. Most of the very good strategic companies, startups they would want to do, we put it here. That's why I always want to keep this place. Because no matter how big Alibaba is, no matter where Alibaba will be, no matter what industry we are in, we always remember this Wuhan culture, this garage culture. And the thing that I want this company never forget is the dream, because we are at today's size. A lot of people just want, a lot of companies I learned when they fail because they want next quarter. They want a revenue, they want a profit, they forget about dreams. It's important, Alibaba dreams. It's dreams that keep us working hard. It's dreams that keep us never afraid of the mistakes, the setbacks we have. I hope 60 years later, 80 years later, people still remember this apartment. We should never lose the dream we had from Wuhan at the apartment.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Greetings from Alibaba Business School, and this is I'm Doreen and Chandy. Yeah. Today we are going to have this introductory session on the Alibaba Netpreneur Trainings. So it's really very nice having you joining us, and thank you for your interest. And I know most of you have already applied for the online courses. So today we are going to bring more details on how the course will be delivered, scheduled, and how much efforts and you are supposed to be engaged to finish the online courses, and what will be the benefits and follow-ups after that. So today we are going to host this session together with our program partners together for the Philippines online course. So let's invite Eunice and Carlo from QBO and Core Venture Capital. Hello, Carlo, Eunice. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on the session. How have you been?
Thank you for having us. I'm so glad to meet you, Chandy and Doreen, even if it's virtually, and so glad to also have Carlo here. Carlo has been a partner of Google for a while. He's share the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program to the rest of the Filipino startups and the digital entrepreneurs working in the Philippines. So I guess to start, Doreen and Shandy, can you give us a brief background of what the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program is about for the benefit of those who are hearing about this for maybe their second time?
Yes, actually, I can brief you some backgrounds of the program.
Let's show the people.
Yeah, switch back to the PowerPoint. It's like this. Actually, a brief introduction of why the training program is initiated in the first place. Actually, it's initiated by Jack Ma himself, and it was during his first trip to Africa in July 2017, and he got this commitment to the world that Alibaba to take the social responsibility, to leverage its experiences from a startup to an ecosystem and also technology to empower globally women, young entrepreneurs and youth, especially in the developing countries. So this is the little background of how the program was initiated by Jack Ma. And the target is to empower 1,000 young entrepreneurs from the world's developing countries by 2023, and I'm very glad and proud to say that we have already reached the goal so far. So this is the little background. Yeah, so based on that, our mission of our department, which under the name of Alibaba Global Initiatives, in short AGI, is to share the positive impact of the global of the digital economy in promoting inclusive development by inspiring and empowering entrepreneurs, youth, and women globally. So this is our mission. And to give you a heads up on the number of entrepreneurs we have trained so far. So far we have three, for example, in Southeast Asia, 3 classes for Malaysia, and 2 classes for Indonesia, 1 class for Rwanda, 2 classes for Thailand, and 1 for Ethiopia. And we have just finished the online courses for Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam by the end of March. So altogether we have already trained about 920 entrepreneurs so far. And we have another class, ongoing class, that will be closed by the end of this month. So that will make our AGI community to be reaching more than 1,000. So Eunice, that's the little bit background of the Alibaba Global Initiatives and our training programs. Can we switch back to John, please?
So we're glad to see there's actually a huge community of students and graduates that people can connect to should they decide to apply for the program and should they get accepted. So I wanted to ask Chandy, since
yes.
Doreen mentioned earlier that you'd be one of our lecturers for the program. What can they expect in the Alibaba Netpreneur Training course?
Thanks for this question. Very good question. So actually, Doreen just mentioned the purpose and the background of this Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program. And the other thing I want to add it before I introducing the content of the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program is that the reason for Jack to launch this program is that we Alibaba strongly believe that the world will no doubt enter into the digital world in the next coming decade. And what's more is that the pandemic will boost the development of this kind of the trend. So we believe this is the trend, and on the other hand, the entrepreneur should be the most important power to drive the whole world into the digital era. This is not about only the government or not about only the practitioners, but the entrepreneurs' power. So that's why we realize that we have to do something to provide the know-hows of Alibaba, especially during the past 20 years. what's our understanding of the digital era, and what is our practice in developing this kind of the digital trend. This is the background. And back to our content, the content is consisted of two parts. One is about the China's digital development story. So in this part, we will share how China, developed in the past 10 to 20 years so fast, especially by leveraging the digital ways. How it has become an inclusive way for no matter the people in the metropolises, but also in the rural areas, by leveraging the digital way to develop their own economy and improve their lifestyles. And on the other side, we will show you what is the Alibaba ecosystem. So what is the key elements that consist of the digital world, and which part is the most important. Of course, these are the parts of the practice showcases. And on the other hand, we're going to show you how Alibaba practice, how Alibaba works. This is something we would like to show you. We want to share all of, especially the most important experiences Alibaba has in developing the digital way or digital technology to all of the entrepreneurs from the world. And this might cause some ideas or spread some ideas or cause some thinkings inside what we should do as the local entrepreneurs to develop local digital development. So in this part, we will mainly share the secret we consider that makes Alibaba successful in the past 20 years. For example, the mission, vision, value, and how Alibaba make the strategy, how Alibaba deal with the problem of people and organization, how Alibaba develop our own people, so on and so forth. So these are the content in our program. On the other way, we will involve a lot of assignment and quizzes, so on, for people to deep into the thinking of all of the content, to translate into their own way to develop their own business. So by doing those assignments, the entrepreneurs in our classes, they can share their own ideas, and at the same time they can learn not only from Alibaba but also from their classmates to learn what they are doing or what they are planning to do, so to benefit themselves and finally benefit the local business in Philippines. So these are about our content. And on the other way, after the program, because we don't believe, we don't hope this is only one-time program. We believe that as an entrepreneur, it's a lifelong learning journey. So even after the program, we will create a network for all of the entrepreneurs who joined Alibaba and who have gained a certificate from Alibaba Business School. So in other words, people from not only Philippines but also from other countries in Southeast Asia, in Europe, and in, for example, even in Africa, they can create a network to keep learning from Alibaba, to keep learning from what is going on in China, and to keep learning from each other about their own practices. So we hope this is a network for the entrepreneurs to gain the kind of this lifelong learning experiences and benefit each other in this network. So that's, I think, the brief introduction of the content and what we can offer in this program.
Okay.
Thank you, Chandy. Carla, do you have any questions for Larry or Chandy?
So actually, Chandy will be.
Thank you again for the Alibaba Global Initiatives for making this happen. Just a bit background, I'm the partner for Capital. We are the local office for the Gobi Philippines Fund, which is the micro fund that's joint ventured with Gobi Partners. So we've been closely in touch with Alibaba for a long, long time. super excited when Alibaba wanted to announce this Netpreneur program. We've had some conversations about the e-founders program and how we can help, as we see that the local ecosystem is very, very important. And I was just, when Chandy was just talking about, the slides with the modules in the online course with the difference of the e-founders program and the Netpreneur program, I guess I'd love to ask the Alibaba team, how can you differentiate this? I know there is a big difference, and we are in a pandemic and everything online. And just a preface, the Philippines is going through that exponential digital transformation at the moment. GP drivers are, watching everything online. Everybody has smartphones, and e-commerce is definitely at an exponential growth rate. So for everyone listening for this that are interested to be part of this program, could you please give an idea of what the difference is and how they could actually go towards the e-founders program?
Maybe I can take the question. The e-founders fellowship programs was launched a few years ago. Actually, it's earlier
2017.
2017. Yeah. Actually, it's earlier than the Alibaba Netpreneur trainings. And
that's true.
At that time, when the training program is initiated in the first place, actually we target for a very specific sector of businesses who are doing the platform businesses. So they are building the platforms, because at that time we believe a good platform can be some driver for the digital economy transformation. So that's the target audience for the e-founders fellowship programs in the first place. But then in the following years, actually it developed step by step, and so we have people from multiple sectors joining the courses as well. So we have, I think we have dozens of entrepreneurs from the Philippines has joined the programs, and we did have several rounds of chat with them recently. And we met two of them in the RJ podcast. Yes, and Steve is who has raised the biggest fund ever in Philippines entrepreneur startup.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of our alumni as well for the e-founder fellowship programs. And actually, for Alibaba Netpreneur trainings, it was initiated in 2019. Actually, at that time, we were receiving a lot of demand and request in the local markets that many other businesses sectors are especially traditional business sectors are interested in joining the courses and learn from Alibaba's experiences and from the courses, and also the other entrepreneurs to how to accelerate the digital transformation for their own businesses. So that's the very original differentiation between the two programs. But what I want to say now is actually the contents are quite the same for now. So it's just for Alibaba Netpreneur trainings, we hold mostly at country level. And for example, we are going to launch the first Alibaba Netpreneur trainings for Philippines for the first time. And then we have launched the first one for Vietnam this year, and Singapore this year. So it's if the contents are the same, and it's just the way we organize it and the partners we've been working with. So basically, for the time being now, it's not that different like before.
And I think the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program is an upgraded version of the previous training program. And for one side, as you know, Doreen just mentioned that we, at very early beginning, we believe that those platform providers may be the drivers of the digital economy. But later we realized that the digital economy is not about what kind of the business they are doing. It is about mindset.
And how different businesses collaborate.
Exactly. So we later realized that, you know, in order to achieve that kind of the digital economy, we should not only train those platform builders, but also those traditional business owners is also very important in playing this kind of the game. So that's why we upgrade the training program, upgrade the content as well, and we try our best to to find more partners in different countries and the regions,
yes,
to expand the scale or the scope of our trainees from different countries.
Yeah. And actually, the fact is, we see many. There are like many diversified sectors of our, from the profiles of our each of our batches of the online courses. So we have a lot of people from e-commerce for sure, and we have people doing marketing, online marketing, offline marketing, and we also see a very obvious increase in ICT, big data, and online gaming, online entertainment, online education especially, and healthcare, and tourists.
Yes.
Yeah, and local service. Yeah, we see the sectors are more and more diversified from batch to batch. So which is very good because every time when we see the interaction between the entrepreneurs, and the classmates, we see a lot of like energy and chemistry from the conversations. If they talk about their own businesses and they learn from others. Hello?
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Doreen and Chandy, for answering that question. We're also just checking the chat as well to see if there are any questions from the audience so far. We have one from C. Lin A. And they want to know, what is the criteria to be part of the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program?
What is the idea?
What is the criteria?
Criteria.
Actually, we hope there are some like basic criteria. You have to be the founders or co-founders or CEOs of a company, because actually the contents. We believe that the CEOs and founders actually are the core of the company, and actually he or she themselves have a very big impact in how the company will go. So all the contents are in this way designed from the perspective of founder and CEO. So the role will be founders, co-founders, or CEO.
Or business owners.
Yeah, or business owners. Yes, and yes, you have to be be running your businesses for. It doesn't have to be this company. As long as you have been running your own business for at least 2 years, then you are eligible to apply. And there will be a few questions for us to ask to learn more about yourself and your businesses, because we want to find the person who are mission driven and who don't just focus on the benefits, and also want to bring benefits for the community and society. So this is the criteria.
Just recapping it for the folks who are watching this, so you have to be the founder or the business owner, or at least C-level, the CEO of the company, and you should have been running your business for at least 2 years.
Yes.
And then also that you're someone who wants to really make the most out of the experience and bring value to the community. Did I capture that accurately, Doreen and Chandy?
Yes, that's very correct. And maybe I can also introduce how we are going to deliver the online course.
Sure.
The schedule. Yeah, you see the online course will be kicked off on the 21st of July. And on that session, we are going to have the welcome session, and the senior leader of Alibaba will give the welcome speech. Of course, virtually, and I will be introducing all the participants, how we are going to deliver the course, and how they are going to be using the tool, the DingTalk app that will be delivering the course, and also online webinars. And also what are the pre-reading materials, and what are the deadline for each weekly assignment, and what are the optional webinars that they might be interested in. So this is the orientation session, and in the following 4 weeks, we are going to have the 5 key modules delivered, and you can see starting from week 2, we'll be also providing the business webinar. And the topic is not finalized yet. We're going to see the profiles for the participants and select the best suitable topics for that optional webinars. And it's not a mandatory webinar that they need to attend, just like AGI webinars. But if they are interested in that topic, they can come and join and listen.
Yeah, we strongly recommend.
Yeah, we strongly recommend. Actually, I can show you. Last time when we hold the March session, we have provided 3 optional webinars. First one is e-commerce practices in China, and the second topic is very hot in China now. It's on community group buy model, and the third topic is on how live streaming is applied in e-commerce in China recently. So similar like that, we're going to pick up the most suitable topics based on the profiles of the participants. Yeah, and you can see these are some of the guest speakers for the optional webinars. So Sophie, last time she brought the e-commerce practices in China, and she's herself is the CEO and founder, one of the founders of e-commerce software company. And Alan Zong is our investment manager of Alibaba Group, and Chen Ying is the CEO and co-founder of Nicetuan, on a top company, one of the top startups in community group buy model. So all of them are the guest speakers we have invited to deliver the optional business webinars. So we will carry on doing the same for the July session as well. So you can see second week, in week 1, actually the second week, we will have the digital economy China story on Wednesday, and Alibaba digital ecosystem on Thursday. So and starting from week 2 as well, we will hold a group discussion. So this is quite new from other previous online courses. So this is something we want to improve in how we deliver the course, because for online courses we feel it's a little bit less and pity, and that the interactions and communications between the entrepreneurs are not enough. So we try to hold this online discussion session for 3 people's small group. And encourage them to have a group discussion starting from week 2, and on the topic of mission, starting from mission, vision, values, and then strategy and organization and people.
Yeah, maybe I think from the content perspective, for the mission, vision, values, strategy, it would be a little bit different for individual to understand. So we realized that a group discussion can help them to understand as deep as possible, by discussing with the other entrepreneurs as well.
Yes, it's a way that they can learn from each other. So this is the difference from previous sessions. And so you can see that in week 5, we will it will be the deadline for the Capstone assignment. And on the 1st of September, we are going to have the closing session, and we will announce all the gradings. And also send them the e-certificates. The certificates is like this. Yeah. So and then they will be invited. Everyone who has completed the online courses successfully, they will be invited to join the AGI family, the AGI alumni. And for the top performers who have overall score above 40, they will be receiving our offer letter to join the offline session afterwards. So this is how we are going to deliver the online course. And basically we have done the calculation to have a full engagement with the online course. It will take each individual 4 to 6 hours per week to finish the online courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I've also been taking a couple of notes, actually. So one of the questions that we've also received via the YouTube chat, so we wanted to clarify, are the webinars time-bound, aka are they only available for a certain time, so the entire class goes through the same pace, or is it self-paced that, for example, if I'm busy with my business from morning to evening, I can log on and watch the webinar later in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there are like 5 AGI webinars on the 5 key modules, and for all those 5 webinars, you need to get the certificate and to be regarded as complete the online courses successfully. You will need to be join the live session for at least 4 sessions. And for the optional webinars, it's not mandatory, and if I think they will be having access to watch the playbacks, right? If they apply it.
Yeah, apart from those core webinars, actually there were also, we will also provide a lot of pre-reading materials, pre-reading videos as well. So the entrepreneurs, I mean the fellows, they can choose some time they think is available for them to read all those pre-reading materials, and they can decide whether to join the optional course. But for the core webinar, I think it is mandatory. It is required for them to join, because we will invite, the lecturers to share their real experiences, and we also offer those Q&A sessions directly with the speakers. So if you have any questions about that, you can raise questions on site, and you can gain the answers instantly. That is very valuable things for each of the entrepreneurs. So this is the required for each of our entrepreneurs. For the others, you can choose. Mm-hmm.
For the AGM webinars, it take like 2.5 hours every time. So that not much time, and we do feel that the reason why we didn't use a recorded video to deliver the online course is because we think the interactive between the lecturer and the audience is very important. So that's why we insist having all those lecturers coming all the way to the classroom and do the live streaming session.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for clarifying that, Lorraine and Chandy. We also have another question here. Is there a limit to the number of participants per batch?
Mm-hmm.
So how many, maybe another way to phrase that question is, how many entrepreneurs from the Philippines are you looking to onboard for this first batch?
Actually, I think we keep enough capacity for the first batch of Philippines, and of course we have some flexibilities to adjust a little bit. But we mentioned before on the weekly assignment, it's actually the something that it's really a workload for the faculty team, and because everyone will get the feedback directly on their assignment individually from the faculty team. So that's really a lot of work for us to do. And we don't to hold the class to be more like interactive between the entrepreneurs. We don't hold a very large class. We think that maybe 150 to 200 entrepreneurs regionally will be a reasonable number. For example, for the July session, we will have entrepreneurs from Philippines, from Indonesia, and from Singapore. So that will altogether we're expecting like 200 entrepreneurs altogether for the online course.
So this is very important part in our program, doing the assignment and getting the feedback from the faculty teams. We consider this is one of the most valuable parts in the program comparing to other training programs. We don't want this training program to be a unidirectional, knowledge passing way, but we want it become, people can, the entrepreneurs and the faculty team, they can communicate with each other, and by providing your own assignment and getting feedback, it will no doubt improve their own performance in their businesses. Yeah.
Yes, and actually from our side, it's also a very important way for us to understand if there is any misunderstandings or there is anything that to be further clarified in the class. So the weekly assignments and feedbacks are very important. So we will not enlarge the class also for that reason.
I hope that clarifies things for the folks who are watching us on the live stream right now. I do have another question related to the program. What exactly is the Capstone project, and what do you expect the students or the founders to produce for the Capstone project?
Do you want to take that question?
Yeah, the Capstone project is most like the summary of the whole program, the assignments. So for each class, for each weekly basis assignments, we're going to have to answer certain kind of the questions closely related to their own businesses and related to what we delivered in our class. And as the Capstone project, we have the opportunities to adjust what we did in our previous assignment and come up with I think a better answers in the assignments. So for most of the scenarios with this kind of the Capstone project, I think you can even carry out directly with this kind of the Capstone project within your own businesses. So this is more like about how, to define the most important parts in doing your businesses. So the Capstone project is not about to create some virtual project, and every Capstone project is about your own businesses, how to define your businesses, how to set mission, vision, values about businesses, and in the capstones, you have the opportunities to upgrade or to adjust all the assignment you did before. Yeah.
Maybe I can give a specific question. For example, starting from week 2, we will introduce what are the mission, vision, and values, and in the assignment, actually the homework, the participant will be asked to have discussion with their own team or the smaller group. What are the mission of your company, and what will be the best mission statement for your company if you are your target customer? And in the first place, you need to identify who are your target customers. So, and what will be the vision? I mean, how do you see your company in 5 years, 10 years?
Yes.
And based on your judgment of the business trend. So how the industry will be developed in the 5 or 10 years. So there are a lot of elements that we will look into. And if there is anything missing or anything that not clear, we will ask directly in the feedback session. And so next week we are going to talk about the strategy. So what will be the best strategy? So what you want to do? What are things you want to do? And what are you capable of doing now with your own capability and all your resources? And what you may do, possibly do. So then based on the analysis of all those possibilities and capabilities, so what will be the should do? So what should your company do to achieve the vision and your company's mission? So that will be the strategy part, simply speaking. And then the last part will be organization. So what kind of organization you need to set up to make the strategy executionable and to be effective? And what will be the organization capability, the most important organization ability that you want to build up? And to build up that kind of organization, what kind of roles and are missing and what kind of like values and culture you need to set up in your company. And so those are the weekly assignments, and capstone assignment will be a recap of what they have learned, what they have delivered on the online courses, and make adjustment based on the feedbacks of the faculty team. And then it's another opportunity, a very good opportunity for them to rethink the strategy starting from mission to the organization, and to see if it's self-explanatory, it can be everything can be linked to each other. So if they can do that, it makes a very good strategy, and then you will need to learn, also decide what are the key projects and key things that you need to do for the following years or following 1 year. So this is the purpose of why we give them a capstone project to complete.
As Doreen just explained, because in our program we have to deliver all the content session by session for the limits of the time. But as you know, to operate a business is kind of a movement in series. So in the weekly basis program, you have to accept all those content independently. So people will get all those informations disconnected with each other. And I think it is very important to connect all those what you learned from the program as a whole, and executed and implement all those things into your own business as a whole. So that's the reason for the capstone project.
Yes, and actually it's also based on our experience for the existing workshops that we are hosting in China with the top entrepreneurs.
I like that you have an emphasis on integrating everything that you learned in the live webinars. I think that's something that would be definitely helpful to the entrepreneurs in the program. Another question that we do have is, do you have any examples of entrepreneurs or business owners who took part in the Netpreneur program and then either grew really fast or became really successful after the program? So they can see the benefits.
Actually, it's for us, it's really hard for us to take the credits of
all of the credits.
Yeah. But sometimes we are happy when we see like an article, or we found the news that our alumni has raised a big fund, or has a very good movement. Development of their businesses. So there are actually a lot of like these kind of activities, and especially when we talk about what they have learned from the entrepreneur trainings, no matter eFounder Fellowship or Alibaba Netpreneur Trainings. So yeah, there are a lot of like these kind of stories, but it's not. A course alone cannot do that. Actually, we need to find the right entrepreneurs who are willing to work together and step further together with us.
I think as the program designer, the most exciting thing for me, or the most inspiring thing for me, is that I always read from our fellows that saying, oh, this is the first time in my life I realized there is something wrong, or there was something missing in my business operations. I never see this, I never expected to learn this in any kind of the training program before this. So this is the most exciting things. But of course, it is very difficult to define what is the success. And we can, as Doreen mentioned, that we cannot take all of the credit of the success to us. So that's the thing I want to emphasize. We want to see that this is something really can help our entrepreneurs, and they can. What kind of the help is that? I would say that they realize this is beneficial, or this is helpful for them, and they recognize that this is very important for us. And we see this very many, a lot of this kind of the stories before in our previous classes.
These kind of stories.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I mentioned before in the previous podcast with RJ. Actually, our entrepreneurs they can be inspired by a lot of things, and some we don't even think of before. For example, I was told by alumni that they think the way how we organize the workshop is really very valuable to his own team. So he borrowed this format and have this kind of workshop to discuss about the company's vision, mission, and the strategy together with the team. And he found it very effective. So this is something not very a big thing, but we find it very encouraging. And of course, we see a lot of many versions of rural Taobao, rural e-commerce in many countries. So they are actually inspired by the idea of Alibaba, how Alibaba have this rural e-commerce in China, and they get this idea and they apply it in their own market, and then tailor-made it to make it practical. So these we can think about many examples like that. And of course, there are collaborations between entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. For example, in Malaysia, there is when they pick up the idea of doing live streaming, they actually, when they had a visit, they made a visit to China, and when they came back to Malaysia, they have set up a joint venture to set up this e-shop and sell Malaysia local products using live streaming. So yeah, many kinds of cases.
And I also got a lot of feedbacks from our fellows that thanks to AGI team, and because they joined this kind of the training program, they survived during the pandemic, and so on and so forth like this.
Yeah, especially for the traditional sectors. Yes. So they understand how digital transformation is important and critical. So they decide when they came back to their home country, they decide to apply it to their to make it the traditional business go digital. So they find it suddenly very helpful to get survived during pandemic.
We also have another question from Jason. When is the announcement if we are accepted in the program? So when did they find out if they got into the program?
We will be start sending out the offers starting from this week. And yeah, I think they will be receiving offer letters starting from this week to end of this month. Yeah. And when they receive the offer letter, it's sent from Alibaba Global Initiatives, and sometimes it will drop into the junk mail, and make sure they check it and to see they don't miss the mail. And yeah, the course will be as mentioned on DingTalk. It's an app developed by Alibaba Group. So because only on DingTalk we can assign pre-readings, and we can record the attendance and also give them feedbacks on their weekly assignments. So we will need them to download the DingTalk and register and join the AGI organization to have the online courses. So if there's any questions in the email, it will have our email address. They can reach out to us, and we will facilitate to get them through all the processes.
Yes. And then also just a reminder for everyone, when is the deadline for the applications?
It's 20th of this month. 20th of June will be the deadline for applications. So we still have more than 1 week.
7 days.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
no, 5 days.
5 days.
5 days, right, sorry.
We just had the Dragon Ball Festival. So we just came back from holidays, missing 3 days.
Alright. So also checking as well if there are other questions. I think another question that some entrepreneurs may have had is that Alibaba in the Philippines at least is very well known for e-commerce, and you mentioned earlier how in other countries you've had people from different sectors like tourism and education, even online gaming and entertainment. So how does the program help these other different sectors beyond sharing the digital development story and some of business basics?
Okay.
Like vision strategy and
Okay.
these other topics.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, actually, our training is not industrial specific. It's more like a methodology and how do you think and how do you view your businesses and for the current phase and also have outlook for the future. So actually, if as long as you have aspirations for digital transformation or digitalization for your businesses, and I think the course will be helping you in some way, somehow. So it's not a industry specific. You don't have to. We don't just target for platform operators. We don't just target for e-commerce. Actually, we have entrepreneurs from real estate company who want to who want to bring the real estate business online, and. But you know that we don't have that business. Alibaba don't have that businesses in China or outside of China. So it's kind of like a methodology that entrepreneurs can borrow and apply it or some part of it in their own businesses.
Actually, I think this is from the observation of Jack. And Jack once mentioned that, he's very lucky. He's very lucky, guys. He has done a lot of, successful businesses in series. Not only Alibaba, but also some other companies like, the Ant Financial or Cainiao or Alibaba Cloud, so on and so forth. And he said he figured out there is some rules in running or in operating a successful business. So he just want to share this kind of the rules to other entrepreneurs, and he believes we can master such kind of the rules no matter what kind of industry we are in. We can share some common secrets of success.
Yes.
Yes. And after that, there's also another question. Are the examples shown in the modules mostly China-based best practices, or will they learn more about the best practices in other parts of Asia?
It's mostly from China.
Yeah, most of them are from China. But actually, we can find some contents for Asia-specific, especially for some industries like like e-payment or we can think about that.
Yeah, we can think about it, but as you know that we are a company from China and we have been operating in this country for quite a long time. What we are good at is to share the Chinese best practice. And of course, we're now trying our best to reach out to more successful cases, not only from China, but from other countries and regions as well. Yes, we're on our way, but most of the content are from Chinese practice and from Alibaba's practices.
So those are used and discussed in the course only as case study. So it's nothing that we want to copy and paste exactly the same practices in your market, and it's the thing is how this kind of like initiative is. Come into being in the first place, and what are the decisions and what are the thinkings behind that is what we focus on most.
Yeah, because we want to share the first-hand experiences. If we share some cases from other countries, we are not able to understand them thoroughly. So maybe there are some misunderstandings, but if we share the cases from Alibaba, we know exactly of them. So that's the reason. Yeah,
because,
hope you can understand.
When we see some external stories about Alibaba, how Alibaba developed and how Alibaba especially defeat eBay, so those are not from the right angle to tell it. And so we don't want to do that. And we want to give them, at least our entrepreneurs, the very accurate and not exaggerated story, and based on that, we want them to learn why, the why and how.
So I know we have a couple of minutes. Left. I'll get to this one last question. We do have a lot of traditional small and medium enterprises in the Philippines. Can they apply to this program?
Yeah, of course.
I think so.
Yeah, actually, you're welcome. Actually, we feel very honored and glad that we can help with the traditional SMEs to embrace digital transformation. And we believe we will, we actually in China have a lot of experiences in that, and we believe it will be helpful to the SMEs in other countries as well.
It's not about the size. What we only care is that whether you have the entrepreneurship.
Fantastic. Carlo, before we wrap this up, do you have any other questions for the Renan Chan before we close this up?
I guess the overarching goal of why are you doing this? Why are you doing this for the Philippines, for Southeast Asia? I'm sure there are specific reasons, and this really comes from the humble background of Alibaba. So maybe give us, at least the audience, an understanding why.
Why we hold these entrepreneurs for Philippines?
Yes.
Actually, we have been like monitoring the entrepreneur, how the startups are growing in different markets, and if we actually find the startup ecosystem is getting increased very rapidly recently in Philippines, especially in Manila. So especially during this pandemic, impact actually it has a very huge impact on all kinds of businesses, and we feel obliged that we need to do something and by carrying on the courses, bring it online, and touch as many entrepreneurs as possible. So this is actually the key reason that we want to deploy the Alibaba Netpreneur Training to Philippines this year, and we will be continuing with this course on yearly basis. Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention that the course is not designed to be online in the first place. So it was a purely offline course training, and it's also because of pandemic we transform it and make it an online plus offline combined model.
And that's why we have more capacities.
Okay, thank you. So just to recap, a lot of what we discussed today, and just to answer the questions of folks who are maybe coming in late. So first of all, yes, applications are still ongoing. You can send your applications to the Alibaba Netpreneur Program by June 20th. So the deadline is June 20th. And then if you are a founder or a C-level CEO of a startup, a digital business, or even a traditional SME company, and you've been running for at least 2 years, you can definitely apply to the program. It's all online and 100% free. So
actually, we can send to the chat box the online application link to the audience. And also, the online course is totally free. There is no tuition fee, no material fee. And if you are offered to come to join the offline session, there's still the offline session is free. All you have to cover is on your personal expenses and also air tickets and accommodation. So the course itself, it's no charge.
Okay. So I think that about covers it. So again, deadline is on June 20th. So if you haven't started your application now, apply already. And then for those who have already applied, question about that in the chat. So you will be starting to announce those who got in by which date?
We will. Actually, we are reviewing all the application letters, and so we'll be sending out the offers batch by batch. So they will be receiving offers starting from like end of this week, like Thursday or Friday, and it will take about 1 or 2 weeks for us to finish all the reviewings.
Okay. So for those watching, again, it's on a rolling basis. So just make sure to send in your application before on or before June 20th.
Yeah. Sorry, Eunice, I want to add. No matter you are accepted or not, you will receive a letter from us, offer letter or sorry letter. So if you haven't received anything, please feel free to contact us. And so there might be some missing of messages.
Yes. And then also for those who have sent in their applications, please don't forget to check your junk or spam folder. Because the program is starting pretty soon, so you don't want to miss out on the actual start of the program. So yeah, I think that's it. There are also a couple of people asking about the offline session, so maybe you can speak a bit about that as to when the next offline section when the next offline session would be.
Actually, it's really hard to say. We used to be very optimistic that we are going to hold some offline sessions next year, but it's hard to tell. So, but as soon as the travel restriction is lifted, and so we receive notice that we can have the offline sessions in Hangzhou or in our campus. We will be sending out the notice to the entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully not tomorrow, next year.
But no matter you are going to join the offline session or not, the Alibaba the AGI team will organize monthly basis webinars to provide furthermore training programs, totally for free on Ding Talk for our AGI family.
Yeah, to the alumni.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we will. As pandemic lasts quite well, so we are putting a lot of efforts to operate adding more contents, activities to the AGI alumni, and so we'll be providing originated contents on monthly basis.
Mm-hmm.
We will be organizing in the future on how to raise fund, how to like serial topics on that area, and we will also discussing with our internal stakeholders and external partners on how to maybe set up some like business matching sessions online and some pitching sessions online, and we will be also like recommending and leveraging our channels to help promote some businesses as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's 6 p.m., so we don't want to keep you for longer than necessary. So I just wanted to thank Doreen and Chandy and of course Carlos for joining us here this afternoon. Thank you for all of the information that you provided. And we'll also make sure to keep everyone updated on the Alibaba Netpreneur Training Program via Kubo's Facebook page. So you can follow us at Kubo Philippines, and we'll be sharing information there as well. Remember, there are only 5 days left before the deadline, so make sure to send in your application. You might have one last question as well, just for people who are already starting their applications. There is a portion in the application form about a reference. Who can they name as their reference?
It could be their friends or colleagues in the company. So, or they can put, if they are referred by QBO or Core Ventures or Gobi Partners, they can put their contact in those organizations as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So for folks who are following us on Facebook, you can just send us a private message and ask for a reference there. We'll be happy to refer.
Okay,
We'll be happy
okay.
to refer you to the program.
Sure.
Sure.
Alright, so I just wanted to make sure we got that covered. So that's it. Those are all the questions we have for now. So once again, thank you to Carlo, Doreen, and Shandy, and thank you to everyone who stayed on to watch this info session. And have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Eunice. Thank you, Carlo. We will not be able to do it to launch the first session for Philippines without your support, as we cannot go there on our own. So thank you very much for your great support, and yeah, thank you for all the entrepreneurs who are watching the live streaming, and we hope to see you online, virtually, and in the future offline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have
Bye
a
bye.
nice day.
Bye bye.
OK，切掉了是吧？
停留20秒的延缓。
When I come back here, it's like a movie in my mind. This is the place we start. I'm the person always